Hello, welcome to a new video. I got this weird book called DDD. Some cool shit about aliens. At this page, it says she's not wearing any panties. The next page, she said death by masturbation. Take that for what you will. This page, this is a new video concept, whatever. Kind of like be very in and out with my face. I'm not saying I'm insecure or anything, like we're good looking, but I like looking like this, I guess. I'm not saying it's bad per se, but I don't know, it feels refreshing, you know? You know, sometimes you don't always gotta show your face. There's always like a big begging thing to do, like, oh, you should show your face. But honestly, I don't feel like doing that all the time. Oh yeah, I was gonna talk about something stupid, and I'm gonna have some Japanese stuff going on in the background. I used to listen to a lot of girlfriend ASMR. I don't think girlfriend ASMR is like the worst thing in the world. However, it can be some form of attachment therapy to some people. Believe it's not good to be overly attached to someone you just met, but in my case, I used to listen to a lot of girlfriend ASMR and get attached to the voice, not even the person themselves. You would barely even notice how the person in the videos looked most of the time. Usually they just have an anime profile picture, and usually they just say, "Oh, your mommy's good boy. How do you like being a submissive and breedable fuck boy?" Something along the lines of that. And honestly, it's nothing bad or anything. Personally, I think if you do listen to this type of content, make sure you are going outside at least for 1 hour a day. Because if you are relying on a phone to give you some form of therapy or something, it's technically not the healthiest thing in the world. Not saying it's unhealthy. If you're gonna rely on your phone for some form of connection and whatnot, I personally believe that you should generally go outside for 1 hour a day. Make sure you have friends or a friend group you can rely on to talk to about your thoughts. Sometimes it gets really depressing sometimes when you are listening to only your phone and nothing else. Also, you really need that deep personal connection with someone to just talk about everything. I know some people don't even have one human friend. That's pretty valid, I guess, because I was generally that person who would never really hang out on the weekends with anybody whatsoever. But I believe a lot of things go on in people's life to, just reach out and whatnot. You can always just reach out and say hi to someone. It's cool. But personally, I think it's great to be outside your house because staying inside is generally not healthy. And when I was staying inside in COVID, I was losing my bananas. If you lose your bananas, you're gonna go absolutely insane. Generally, I feel like therapy should be free. I used to do therapy a lot when I was younger. I don't think being on Discord all day talking to like e-woman, e-man. Wait, how do you call them? I don't think being on Discord all day and talking to e-girls or e-boys is necessarily healthy. I feel like people hide behind so much personas on the internet that they don't know how to be themselves, and that's pretty sad. It's always good to have some source of outlet or sunshine, because if you're always relying on the internet for validation because maybe you weren't given the external validation as a kid, then personally I believe that you need to be careful and you need to at least, reevaluate your priorities because, you know, life is about, feeling like you exist. You're here for a reason. People put too much emphasis on the meaning of life, but not actually living it themselves. So maybe don't worry too much about the meaning of life, but just worry about living it and enjoying it and having fun. I know this was a bit of a tangent. I'm not used to making these types of videos, I guess. And it's not everyone's cup of tea, it's not everyone's cup of water. I know this is similar to a little bit of a moist critical video, but I wanted to try something a little different with my old persona, I guess, and whatnot. And yeah, I saw the new Star Wars movie today. It was pretty good, 8 out of 10. I'm not a new movie critic, but personally, 8 out of 10. Alright, Go watch it if you haven't watched it.
It can be
Remember the
because
old
of
days when people
loneliness,
used to
it can
just turn on
be
the
because
240p cameras and make crappy like video game
you wanna
reviews and shit.
feel
So maybe we
that's
should
how you
bring that
felt
back. So
during that time
stay
you
cuckoo.
first found your favorite video. So you wanna recreate that feeling by replaying that video numerous times and combusting and failing.